Welcome to the Roy Snarr Show, entrepreneurship and giving back. Now, here's your host, Roy Snarr.
Welcome back to the Roy Snarr Show. Today, I'm very excited. We have a good friend of ours. His name is Cody Askins. You probably have heard of him. He has a lot of stuff going on in the insurance industry, but what he's most known for, which is an awesome event, it's called 8% Nation. Cody, thank you so much for coming on.
What is up, brother? Thanks for having me. Shorts and all, man.
Shorts and all. I love it.
I came straight from the golf course. I appreciate you having me. You're awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And, I remember talking to you late last night. You're like, hey, I got this golf tournament we're hosting. I got an award assembly, a ceremony to do. Yeah. I said, hey, if you can make it work, that's awesome. If you can't, totally get it, man. And I love that you just roll in right from the golf course and you make time for this. And it's awesome. I'm glad that you're on the show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I always have fun talking with you.
Dude, you as well, man. I mean, dude, when someone invites you, you know what I mean, to share your brand and your story out to the world, why would you say no?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, why would you say no?
100%. I remember in the past, I was always kind of like nervous or shy to get onto the camera, and I got invites. I was like, no, I'm too busy. I never made the effort. But now it's like anybody calls me, hey, you want to be on the show? I'm like, I am there. Let's roll. Let's 100%. Go do that, And
100%.
And that's what's so fun, because you get to interact with people on a different level, and they get to share their stories, share their practices, and we make a greater impact to the entrepreneurs, because that's the whole point of doing this is, hey, look, let's help, like just how you help agents have belief in themselves to create a successful path. We're doing the same thing here for agents and other entrepreneurs who may be struggling, or even if they are successful, because even at levels of success like that you've accomplished, it's not like you're on a sailboat the whole time with no issues, right?
True.
There's always challenges there.
Dude, the bigger it gets, the harder it gets,
That's what it is, yeah.
I'm just trying to create a bunch of Roy Snarrs in the world, man. That's it. The more Roy Snarrs, the better, bro.
Yeah, hey,
right?
I love that. I created one. He's only 5 months old now, so.
Let's go, dude, yes.
That's awesome, man. So maybe you could share a little bit for the people that don't know, like your story. How did you start, and then how did you grow this massive multi-7-figure empire of yours?
Yeah, and it's funny, man, because to like hang out with people and they're like, oh my gosh, how'd you do this? How'd you do this? And like grow this. And I'm like, it's interesting. I think it's a personality trait, but it still feels so small.
It does, yeah.
I guarantee it's the same thing for you.
Yeah.
Like you do crazy well, but I bet it still feels like you're like just getting started.
Oh yeah, I feel so behind. It gives me anxiety sometimes.
Yeah. So real quick, my dad's been in the business my whole life. When I was 19, I was an intern as a part-time insurance agent. I was going to Baptist Bible College, taking 21 credit hours a semester, full-time student athlete, playing basketball, practices, games, tournaments, weekends, all that.
Wow.
And then at 20, I became a full-time agent and started selling. And I was cold door knocking, cold calling.
Oh,
I got a ton of stories for that. But in my first 8 months, I made $117,391.13.
Wow, that's amazing.
Fell in love with life insurance sales.
I bet.
Sold for years. 2015, I started putting out content on YouTube to help agents. Like, hey, I made $8,000 this week, and here's how you can do the same thing, and like follow these steps, et cetera, right? Creating belief, and just also, I was putting out content because I always wanted to speak and build a brand and help people.
Yeah.
I didn't know where it would lead. And then over time, agents started reaching out. Hey, can you help me? Hey, can we join your team? Hey, can you coach me? Hey, can we get leads from you? Hey, can you do this?
Right.
Hey, can we do that? And now it's grown to where I think statistically, we will hit 100,000 YouTube subscribers.
I checked your channel. You are so close.
Tomorrow? Or the next day. We're at 99896. We need 104.
Don't you get a plaque from YouTube or something?
You do.
At 100,000. So if you're watching this, just go to Cody Askins, subscribe to it. Come on.
Yeah, we're so close. We're getting about 57 to 63 a day. So we'll hit it Friday. Today's Wednesday. We'll hit it Friday at the latest. So yeah.
That's
and,
awesome.
And then just it evolved.
What an accomplishment.
Thank you.
I remember I actually watched your first video when you're in that creaky old chair and the echo was terrible. And then
don't watch that one.
Now you have like production quality. But the point is that you actually started to do it, right? And we had Luke Acree on the show, and he said the same thing. 3 years, nothing happened. Even Alex Hormozy, which a lot of people know, I think it was like 6 years.
He's on the Roy Snarr Show next, right?
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yes, he's actually calling my cell phone. I'll talk to him later. But it takes time to build this up. And at that time, you had no idea. I mean, 6 figures in the insurance game. I mean, I know insurance very well, but it took me 5 years to get 6 figures.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, it was a very long, slow journey.
I think you just wanted like a modest story. I don't know, man.
No, it took me a long time, man. I was a slow learner. And I was doing part-time stuff also. I wasn't like fully into it. But.
Why do you think that was? I know this is sort of about me, but I'm kind of curious. Like 5 years, someone is impressive, highly skilled, making as much freaking money as you. takes 5 years to make six figures.
I came from a background with zero business sense whatsoever.
Okay.
My family were a bunch of hillbillies and just worked hard, all blue collar work, no idea about anything. The biggest thing that I was lacking was belief in myself that I could actually accomplish it. I mean, I had very positive upbringing.
What were you making before?
Oh, goodness. I mean, I was 22 when I got my license, so I was making enough to buy enough beer for college and dirt
Like 30
bike.
grand or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Like 30, 40 grand. I sold cars for a while, absolutely hated that business. And then I was doing some startup work where we just invested some money and just sold a couple policies here and there. Never really got serious about it until 2015. When that year, because that's the year I got married. I was like, I have to get my act together. I'm going to take care of this lady and have kids. And I had a good mentor at the time that he actually made me cry. He said, you're not going to make it unless you change these things. How are you going to pay for that? And this totally broke me down.
Wow.
But I needed that, right? Because I was getting comfortable. Because at that point, I was making like 50 to 75,000.
Okay.
That first year that he broke that, then I hit over 150. And then we went to 200, then we went to 250, and then we went to 400. I remember when I crossed over $500,000 in 12 months, I was like, this is amazing. This is crazy. And then it just perpetually grew every year after that to this year. We should be hitting in about around $2 million in revenue.
That's incredible.
Just personal pen.
Freaking awesome,
not
by the way.
agency modeling or anything.
So there's a couple things you just said that I want to highlight from my story to help with what you just shared. One is belief.
Yeah, I lack that. Yeah.
So here's a few pieces. So when we talk about belief, so my dad actually told me hey, I was setting goals for my first year. He's like, he inserted something in me, like your mentor did, broke you down, but added belief, right? Took some stuff out, put some stuff in, and my dad's like, dude, you will make. You're impressive. You're my son. You will make $100,000 your first year. Well, what's interesting about that is he's like, you will make $100,000 your first year. I'm like,
yes.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Right? Who are we talking about?
That's a huge number back then. It still is today.
I'm 20, right? I mean, literally, you make like $6,000 in college. It's like, right? You're buying pizza for the whole dorm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, dude, maybe he's right. Maybe I could make six figures, right?
Yeah.
So he inserted that. I think everybody needs that, number one.
Yeah,
You
totally.
you need belief. You need someone to insert that, and it will make you start believing bigger than you do. Something I do for my sales team every single day. I'm challenging them, I'm motivating them, I'm picking on them, I'm pushing them, I'm breaking them down.
Right.
I'm inserting confidence, but I'm trying to instill belief, right? Which is really important, and you shared a second ago. The second thing you shared was putting your back against the wall. Yeah. Like someone breaking you down.
Yeah.
Getting married. You had these pivotal moments in your life of things that, at one point when you're 22, you're like, dude, I don't even need six figures, man.
No.
If you come from blue collar family, you come from making 20, 30 grand a year, you're like 40, 50, 60 is amazing.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So 100 is not even it's in the rear view. It's not in the
Those
purview,
are for
right?
the rich folks.
Exactly.
That's a different mindset.
But the second is once you have a belief, you got to find different ways to put your back against the wall, to wake yourself up so that you actually go do that and deliver on whatever you want.
Totally.
And I try to do that for myself and for others, dude, as much as I possibly can.
Oh yeah, because it's easy to get comfortable.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I talk about this all the time, self-auditing. I'll just run a self-audit myself. I'm like, okay, you're getting too comfortable or you're not being as positive as you should be because it's hard, right? I mean, it's not easy.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes what I'll do intentionally, and you got to be careful on how you balance this out, but I'll say, okay, look, I'm getting kind of comfortable. Let me push myself a little bit. I know I can accomplish this. So I'll go out and make a big investment. And I'll say, you know what? I'm going to make this big investment and I have to make it work. Otherwise, I'm going to have the bank knocking on the door, the credit card company, but I know I can make it work. So that pushes me out of my comfort zone in order to accomplish to pay that off. And every time I've done that, we have massively excelled. We've almost doubled our revenue from last year. And we massively increase our expenses, but now it's creating a compound effect.
Yeah. Pay attention to what he just said. Also, Dave Ramsey, close your ears, okay?
Yeah.
But dude, you talked about putting your back against the wall, making a massive investment.